action.
9.5 Bravo, preparing a bank reconciliation statement and journalizing entries to adjust the cash balance. On October 7, 2013, Peter Chen, attorney at law, received the September bank statement from First Texas National Bank. Enclosed with the bank statement was a debit memorandum for $118 that was covered as a, what's that, insufficient funds check?
NSF? Yeah.
Nsf Check issued by Anatco, a credit customer. The first checkbook contained the following information about deposits made and checks issued during September. Balance of the cash account in the checkbook on September 30 was $8,434.
So what are we going to do with this information? First one. What are the instructions?
Instructions are we're going to prepare a bank reconciliation statement for the firm as of September 30, 2013.
And
We're going to record general journal entries for any items on bank reconciliation statements that must be journalized. Date entries September 30.
Perfect. Okay, hold on one second. Can I borrow your? All right. Cash account what? For what? We're going to do a bank reconciliation. So I just went and photocopied this. That was a pause on YouTube, so hopefully and no one can see this, what I'm about to show you. But this is the way I do bank recs in the real world. So I wanted to photocopy this so we could write on them, okay? And it came out legal. Sorry about that. I had the whole book on the thing, and for some reason I picked legal. But it does have the two sections we need. No, those are both for you, Levon. So we're going to hand these out. Merci. So you don't have to write in your book, as someone did in my book. I've photocopied it so that you can write on this paper. Yeah, it's okay that they're half on one, half on another.
This is today, right?
And you're going to want to have a pen out.
I want a pencil, but you don't have a pencil, do you?
Or a pencil, either way. Pen or pencil, it doesn't matter. You still have the problem in the book. We're just going to do this the way Mr. Greer likes to do this in the real world. You like the real world, right? That's good. Mr. England. And Mr. Pinkston should be here shortly. A bagel. All right, with some schmear or something. Bagel and schmear, is that what it is? All right. We now are looking at my pen. We are now looking at this problem. What we have on one problem, or excuse me, on one piece of paper at the top is on page 317, the First Texas National Bank statement. This is the equivalent of what you would get from Wells Fargo or Bank of America. Now, it is a limited one. It's not perfect, but this is what we would imagine like Chase would send us or something like that. Welcome, Domingo. We're just doing bank reconciliations right now. James, I think this was in your book. I don't know if that's yours or not. Okay, so like I said, this is, and as you can see, it's got the account number at the top. It tells us it's for the period ending September 30th, and it's got the person's name on it. So this is, for all intents and purposes, a bank statement. What we have over here on the left is a record of all the transactions. Yes, there you go, down at the bottom, it looks like this. This is all the transactions that occurred over the course of the month. So this is like our accounting books, okay? This is our book balance, so to speak, and this is our bank balance. Now we need to make these two match. There's going to be information on this one that is not on this, and most likely information on this one that is not on this. So we have to blend these two together and do what we call a bank rec, as we talked about yesterday. So that's what we're going to start off with, and that's what we're going to complete. The reason I photocopied this, I'm just going to show you this, the way I, in real life, do this is I photocopy my bank statement or print it out, and as I go through and check off transaction to bank, I put a line all the way through it. Now some people say, oh, I'm just going to check off like the little amount. You can do it however you want. Yippee-ki-yay, I don't care. I'm just telling you what's worked out for me is a line completely through the transaction, because what happens then is I never look at the line again. It's kind of blotted out. And when you're doing a bank rec and it gets really complicated and you start missing a few things, that's when you have to go into this investigative technique and you're trying to figure out, oh man, I think I saw that somewhere. So as you're checking off things, if you just completely cross out, not on the original bank statement, you're going to photocopy it, you come up with a little tool that shows you, oh, here, this one, I don't have this in the records. You can quickly identify what is missing from the books and what the bank statement has, the books don't. And this helps cinch things back up. So I'm going to pull my pen out, and I will demonstrate to you as I mark things off. I will pull it up and let you all see what I'm doing. But this is how I do it in real life. Okay, James? We didn't do it in QuickBooks because, well, you know what? I think I did show that in QuickBooks. Maybe, in fact, I'm pretty sure we did that in QuickBooks. That's how I figured out.
I don't remember the
Yeah.
line.
Well, that was probably the part you missed. That's why I found it so fast. Because, and I promise, you can do it however you want. I'm not telling you this is the only way to do it. This is a way I have found very effective in my own businesses to do this quickly and to not have second guessing. So if you get into a bookkeeping experience where you're doing the books, this looks weird, people will be like, what are you doing marking up a bunch of bank statements? Just tell them, hey, it's my process, it's a tool I use, it's how I learned it, because it really does end up giving you some powerful information, and it's a very primitive mode of doing it. That's why people are like, why would you do that? But sometimes these simple things are very effective tools. First thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and start off by creating a bank reconciliation statement. So we're going to start off with Peter Chen is the guy's name. He's an attorney at law, so I'm going to write that up here. This is going to be a bank reconciliation report or statement. Let me zoom in here. And the date for this problem is September 30th, 2013. I'm going to hop into B4. What is the first thing we start off according to the chapter?
The balance?
Which balance?
The balance of 6,500?
But the balance of what in the report? No, actually, close, but no. We're going to start off with the balance on what? Like, look back in the chapter. Let's.
8,100 was before.
I'm not looking for a number. I'm looking for what type of balance. If you go to page 292, it'll tell you how to do this. In fact, you can flip to 292 in your book because you've got the whole problem in front of you in paper copied, so you don't even have to be on the problem. 292 will be your guide. So what's the first thing we're going to start off with on page 292? Balance of the bank statement. Thank you. So balance on bank statement. What is our balance on the bank statement? That's our beginning balance on the bank statement. Anybody else? What's our balance on the bank statement here?
The same thing we're looking at right now. On 292?
This thing. No. Oh, I'm sorry. On the problem. 292 is the template. We're going to follow that pattern. The information is going to be on this.
Balance cash account check September 30 was 8,131. 34.
But did I say in the checking account or did I say on the bank statement?
The bank statement says 7,323.
Perfect. $7,323.50. So this is why bank reconciliations get a little difficult. We got to make sure we get the right information. So what was the balance at the end of the month on the bank statement? On the bank statement, it's right here. The bottom right here. $7,323.50. It's the last number on the bank statement.
Sorry, YouTube.
Levon says, sorry, YouTube. We got most everybody here, though. This is just going to be review. Okay. Next thing we're going to put, what's next on 292? Who's got that? Page 292. What's the next thing we're going to put on the balance on the bank statement? Additions. Thank you. Additions. I'm going to go down to Charlie 6 to do this. Do we have any additions that are needed to go in here? So what we're going to do right now is this is going to be a little bit of non-Excel because we have to figure out what's different between these two things. There's Sterling. You're going to need this, Sterling. There we go. All right. So I'm going to sit here and look at the first thing. We have September 1st, our balance was $6,500. On our transactions is what it says. So September 1st, $6,500 on this one. You guys see this? On our transactions. What does it say according to the bank statement our opening beginning balance was? $6,500. It's the same number, okay? So we've now seen two of these, same number. That's perfect. That means we're starting out the month in balance, which is good. That means if anything gets messed up, where is the problem? It's in September. So we've eliminated, we don't have to go back any further. That's why we do a bank reconciliation each month, is so that we're not looking for it in the past. We can find it really quickly. So I'm going to take with my pen, this is the way I do it, and I'm going to cross out September 1st balance 6,500. And I'm going to come over here and go beginning balance, cross out August 31st, 6,500. I don't know if you can see that, but I've now lined through both of these. QuickBooks has a great little check that you just do, and it makes it look like it's all checked off, but we're not doing it in QuickBooks. We're doing it by hand. Good. Yeah, bloop, bloop, the QuickBooks sound. Next, we have a deposit for $500 in the bank account. I see that on September 3rd. Do you guys see that one on the bank statement? So September 3rd, I see $500 plus, and then if I look down here to September 3rd, it says deposit for $500. I'm going to put a line through that one and a line through that one. You don't have to work. We're looking at both of them, Domingo. You're going to have to. Yeah, it doesn't matter about what order they're in right now. We're just going to match up transactions that are accounted for in both. Check, check. No. All right, the next thing. I see on September 6th a check for $100. Now, do you see a check for $100 on our transaction list? Check number 104. Great. So I'm going to check through check 104, and I'm going to put a line all the way through that 100. Notice the way I do it is completely through the line. You don't have to do it that way. I just find it visually more appealing and easy to see later. I feel like I'm Vanna White going back and forth showing this stuff off. Now, do we have a check for $10 anywhere? So check 105. So I'm going to take off check 105, and I'm going to put a little line through that $10. But we have a couple other on that same line. This is a weird one. Normally they would just list the checks out numerically. This is a academic version. Do we have a check for $200 before or around September 11th? Yeah, check 107. So we're going to go ahead and line that one out. We're going to cross out the $200. And do we have a deposit for $410 around the same time? September 10th. So let's go ahead and cross that out. So we just took care of 3 of those transactions on one line. So this is what mine looks like right now. 3 of those transactions on one line. Okay. Let's see here. $225 is our next one. Do we have anything for that? Okay, now this is interesting because you can look at the date. September 6th was when we wrote it, but it didn't cash till September 15th. What happened? No, they probably didn't post date it because that's illegal.
Well,
they probably just didn't take it to the bank. So they probably got it and just held on to it for a while, right? So we're going to go ahead and cross that out. Great. Our next one on the bank statement is $60. Do we have a $60 deposit or a check, I mean? Check 109 on the 21st, 60 bucks. Great. Next thing is a deposit for $730. Do we see that? What is it, Lisa? On the 22nd, we had a deposit for $730. See how this gets really simple? When we cross it out, we can just really fast identify the things that are still left. Check, let's see, do we have anything for $16? And 111 is 80. Those are both on the same line. So I'm going to cross both those out. That's great. 80 and 16. And then we have 140 and a deposit for 900. And a check for 75. Okay. That's right. We don't see any of those now. So we have two things. We have a $7.50 service charge on the bank statement and a $118, I think it's a bounce check or something like that. And then we have over here on the transactions, we're missing a $75 transaction, a $140 transaction, and a $90 transaction. It's according to those books there. So I'm just trying to see if anything matches up. It looks like those are all going to be there. So what we're going to do right now is we need to put in our additions. Anything that has been put into the bank that's not in the bank statement. So we're going to be looking at our transaction list. Are there any additions to our bank or to our bank account that are not already on the bank statement? $900 deposit. Good job. So we have a deposit of September 28th. But the 75 was a check. It wasn't a deposit. So we're going to do additions first, and then we're going to do deductions. Good question. So this is $900.
Mr. Greer, didn't we just put in an addition 6,500? Or I made a mistake?
You made a mistake. We just put additions, and then I was actually going to make this look like this so we could just see it was indented a little bit. A deposit of September 28th in transit. In transit means it's in process, like it's still going. It hasn't gone through yet. We've put it in the bank, but it hasn't posted to our account. We're going to tally this up, which means I can either hit sum, but I don't think sum is going to do it because I have a space there, so I'm just say this equals, well, let's do a sum. Equals the sum of everything above it. So I've got $8,223.50. Now, according to, was it 229 or 329 or whatever it was, or 297, what was the page we were on? 292. What's our next thing, Markale?
Check incorrectly charged to account.
Okay, deductions. So we're going to do deductions for outstanding checks. Whoops. Deductions for outstanding checks. Because we put our deposits in there now, but now we have to go in and say, I think I had a couple checks that weren't cleared either. I am going to take, with my pen, next to deposit, sorry I forgot to tell you this, next to my deposit, I'm just going to check it like I took care of it. So I put a little tiny check mark next to that 900 on my transactions. That's going to indicate to me that I took care of that. So this one's there, down here, down here. Just a little tiny check mark. I'm not crossing it out, I'm just putting a check in it. So we have a couple checks. What was that first one there, Levon? Check number what?
For the $75?
Yeah, for the 75.
Got check number 108.
108. of September 15th. That was for $75. And then we have check number 112 of September 27th for $140. And we're going to check both those off. Put those in. I'm going to add those together right here. So we're going to put our total outstanding checks. I'm going to have to spread this one out just a little bit. So this equals the sum of everything above it on the left. So that's how I just did my formula right here, was the sum of these two numbers. I don't know about the test, but the test might have a different set of numbers in there. There might be 3 checks or something like that. Yeah, the test is going to have actually the exact same amount. Same amount of checks that hadn't been deposited, same amount of checks that haven't been. So now I'm going to hit enter. I can see that I have $215 of checks outstanding. What am I going to do with that number? Who's my brilliant statistician in here? Kendra, what do I do? Take that and do what with it? Subtract it from the 8,000, right? So we're going to say equals $8,223.50 minus the 215. Come out to enter, $8,008.50. Now once I have it here, what's my symbol in accounting to say that I'm done totaling this up? Go to cell styles. We could do this total. Yeah, that's good. I'll use the blue line. I'm good with it. It's that single line with the double line below it. That's our indicator that we've totaled everything and we're done with the number. So this is the first half of the bank reconciliation. Remember, there's 2 halves. Did you see the video yesterday, Domingo?
No, sir.
I recorded the video for you. You didn't even watch it? That hurts right here. That cuts me to the quick. So. I appreciate it, but I was honest with you. Cut me to the quick. So honesty doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. So, okay. Great. So now we're going to do the second half of this, which is the adjustment to, and this is, we call this our adjusted bank balance. Actually, I want to be over 1. Sorry. Adjusted bank balance. What's the second section there, Noel? What does it say on 229 or 292 or whatever we're on? What's the next section we're going to do in here? Balance in books. Look at that. He was totally right just because he read the perfect response in the book. What's the first thing we're going to do in here? We're going to put the balance in. What's the balance according to the books? Was it? What does it say in the problem? Right above that. The very end of the description of the problem. What does it say? Well, what does it say there? So Kendra knows what it says. The balance of the cash account. So they give us the information that's not necessarily right there for us. So that's good. So $8,134. Bingo. That's the balance in the books. Now we're going to do our deductions again. We're just going to follow the same thing. It's right here. On the problem. Yeah, you kind of folded it over a little farther there. We're on the book balance now. So we're going to do our deductions again. The first thing we have is that Nsf check. That's that debit that they put into our account there, the DM. So we're going to do an Nsf check. And that thing ran us how much money, according to this? They took out, no, that's a service charge for it. $118. As soon as I put it in here, this one I crossed out. I want to make sure when I'm done with my bank recs that my photocopied version of my bank statement is completely crossed out. That's my little indicator when I do stuff on how I know it's done, because I've taken care of every transaction. And then, so we have an Nsf check of that amount, because that means that we didn't get the money. And then we also have the bank service charge. $750 isn't bad, but that's that little SC right there. I'm going to cross that one out. And now I have nothing, I have no numbers on my bank statement indicating whether or not, or indicating that there's anything left over that I haven't accounted for. So I have completely reconciled this now. Let's see if it adds up. Let's see if we get a balance between these two, if they equal each other. So we're going to say our adjusted book balance, and I'm going to take this over here, and I'm going to tally these two up, and I'm going to use my auto sum and just grab these two. So sum of those two numbers. So I've just added those two numbers up. $125.50. What am I going to do with that, Elizabeth? To get my adjusted book balance, how am I going to figure out my next number? How am I going to get this right here, my adjusted book balance from what we have?
I'm thinking of positive, adding.
Well, it says deductions. So we're going to subtract it, but what are we going to subtract it from? The balance in the books, exactly. So we're going to say this equals this number minus this number. Oh my goodness, I'm going to throw a little Levon cell style karma on here so it looks right. And look at this. Bing, bing. They match. That means that I've done a good bank rec. If I've taken care of all my transactions and both my totals match, I did it right. Elizabeth.
I missed $134. I don't understand where you got that from.
Which $134?
Balance in the books.
Oh, it's in the problem. It's at the end of the first paragraph of the problem. The last sentence says, the balance of the cash account and the checkbook on September 30th was $8,134. Good? Any other questions about that? Because now I'm going to make it look right.
So
No?
the adjusted book balance needs to match the adjusted bank balance.
Exactly. These two should equal. Now let me show you a little trick if they don't equal. Let's say, for instance, I forgot to do this NSF fee. I'm going to delete this. You don't have to do this. You can just watch. Let's say I do this, and I can tell that these two numbers are not the same, $8,016 and $8,008.50. What I would do in a real accounting situation is I would come over here and say this equals this minus this. And I'd see that I have $7.50 that's messed up. Now this $7.50 could be one of two things. Sometimes we find that we've added something we were supposed to subtract. So this is just like computer repair where we have to troubleshoot things. This is accounting troubleshooting. We can think, is this double something? Like, did I do something wrong? Did I transpose a number where I typed in a number and this could be wrong? Or did I miss something completely? In this case, I missed something completely. So if I come back in here and I put my 750 in because I find it, this goes to 0. So this is like a little Excel cheat that I do all the time whenever I have to reconcile anything in Excel, is if you put something in there that you know is supposed to be your control account, you want it to equal 0. To make it even more fun, do you guys know how to do conditional formatting? No? Okay. Excel is a lot like a girlfriend. The love is conditional. I'm just kidding. Because they're all so dead today. Sorry. So what we could do is we could set it up so it does different things for us. If we bring it flowers, what does it do? It's lovely and loves us back. So we speak its love language right now. So we can set this cell up to do something kind of fun for us where we don't have to look at it and know if it's right or not. We can set it up so that if it turns to 0 and we get it right, we get a big blue heads up or red heads up. We can pick a color. What color do we want? Blue. Okay, thanks. Levon answered. Go up to conditional formatting in the cell we want. Click on it. We're going to create a new rule. This is good info right here. This is going to be your money's worth today. New rule. I'm going to tell it that I want to format only a cell that contains something. And the cell that contains is a value. And I want it to equal, what do we want it to equal if we know it's right? 0. So if I equal 0, I want to format it in a way where I can tell that it's going to be 0 without actually having to look down. Let's just say this is a big, long, complicated thing, and I just want a visual cue. I can fill it with this beautiful blue that Levon picked out. I can make the font, this is all, I'm just picking colors and things like that. That's bold, and I'm going to increase the font size, so it's going to, oh, I don't even have to do that. Click OK. This is what this cell will look like if the cell equals 0. So as soon as I click OK, bingo. Now if I come up here and I get rid of this 750, I know that I'm not right yet. I would actually probably use red until I got to 0. Then I would, so anything that wasn't 0, you can go in and say, if it's not 0, make it red. Or if it is 0, make it blank. So you could do that. But as soon as I put that 750 back in, it tells me instantly with a little color, hey, you made it. This cell is exactly what you told it to be.
And how you got the balance in books? That's what I got last.
For the 3rd time today,
Oh, that's first.
I've answered this question 3 times. So I'm going to answer it the 3rd time today, or 4th time today. If you read the problem, at the end of the problem, first paragraph, it says, the balance of the cash account and the checkbook on September 30th was, what was it?
The balance, that's the whole thing.
What was it according to the problem? Read the problem. I'm reading the problem right here.
This one here.
The problem. The balance of the cash account
I don't even know where.
at the end of the first paragraph. This is the problem. Last sentence.
The balance of the cash account and the checkbooks on September.
$8,134. What'd you say? Okay, good. Kendra is having the next issue, formatting. Let's fix it for Kendra because I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to just sit here at the bottom of my numbers and hold the shift key down and hit up till I get to the top of my numbers and then go left 1. Little Beyonce there, not a lot, just to the left, not to the left, to the left. And then we're going to go to comma style. I'll use my bear style to combat your comma style. And you should see all your numbers go to like a monetary number where they just have the comma and 2 digits afterwards. And that should fix that problem. Did it?
Yeah.
Yes, I knew I could do it. Next. Laura's wondering how I'm so amazing at this. I don't know either, trust me. I don't know. Somehow it happens, but it does. I'm also going to click on A, and I'm going to hold my control key down and click on G. Then I'm going to write, so that was control, and I clicked, and I let go, so I have them both highlighted. So here, I can tell somebody this is, click on A at the top, go over to G and hold the control key down, click on that one, and I get G lit up also. This highlights 2 columns, but not everything in between. That's what the control key does. I'm going to right mouse click while I'm still on G. I'm going to go down to column width. And I'm going to set this one at like 5. No, that's not even good. I'm going to set it like 2. Column width of 2. I'm going to make that smaller. And then I need to merge and center all this stuff up here, remember? So A1 through G1, we're going to do a merge and center. A2 through G2, merge and center. Merge and center this one. And if you don't like the date like that, Kendra, check this out. I can go up to the number format, go down to date. Short date's fine. Oh, I want to do a custom. here we go, more number formats. And on date, I could go down and find the way I want it to look. Like I think I'd like it to look like this. So I could just click on this one. And when I click OK, it'll reformat that to be perfect. It's kind of nice, huh? So all those number issues are all right here. Like if you ever want the numbers to look different, it's all under this number tab. And just my last little thing, I'm going to make C just a little bit longer. Make C a little less longer. And make D a little bit longer. There we go. I like that one. That looks like a good little setup for me. And if I wanted to put lines in here, I could, but this looks pretty good. I would, if I hit print, well, it's got my little guy in there, but I could just say fit all the columns on one page. And this would print out. It'll look fine. It's not perfect, but it's good. I am going to go down here and double tap on sheet 1 and type 9.5b. I am also going to go up to the little save disk, click save, and say assignment 3. Actually, I'm going to put my name on there because you guys know that's how I like that. And then I'm going to go into Camtasia and hit pause. I've photocopied the problems for you, 9.6 Bravo and 9.7 Bravo. We're going to prepare a bank reconciliation. We're going to start on 9.6. Let's see here. We're going to prepare a bank reconciliation statement and journalizing entries to adjust the cash balance. On July 31st, 2013, the balance in the stacked stone masonry checkbook and cash account was $7,318.59. The balance shown in the bank statement the first day was $8,442.03. They have not given us a bank statement, and they have not given us a transaction list. Do you notice this? They're going to just write it out for us. So they're trying to confuse us by not giving us the basic tools that we would normally have. So they're going to write them out, and we're going to have to do the same thing we just did, but in written form. So let's not get too caught up in how crazy this gets, because we can do this. Right, Kendra? All right. Let's see here. So we are going to start with the 9.6b, and how I'm going to do that is copy, because I'm cool like that. Create a copy for sheet 2, and I'm going to call this one 9.6 Bravo. And instead of this one, this guy is the stacked stone masonry bank reconciliation for July 31st, 2013. Lisa, my favorite Yelper. What was the balance on the bank statement? Wait, what was it? No, we're on problem 7.6b. Yeah, 7.6. Oh, I'm 9.6 Bravo, sorry. I was thinking 7, I wasn't. 9.6 Bravo. It's written out. That's in the bank's, yes, balance in the bank statement. Is that right? It is. Okay, $8,442.03. Good job. Were there any outstanding deposits? Let's see here. We're going to read through the notes really quick. The following checks were issued but have not been paid yet. That doesn't sound like anything. It was a deposit, right? A credit memorandum showing that the bank has collected $1,550. Note receivable interest, blah, blah, blah. Nope. The firm records indicate that a deposit of $994.07 made on July 31st does not appear on the bank el statemento. ¿Cómo se dice bank statement en español? Bank statemento? Are you mocking me? Okay, I like that one now. Okay, isn't banco?
Yeah, banco.
Banco? Banco statemento?
Estado bancario.
Yeah, whatever. It was too much for me. Estado de carro? Uno bankstato? No, just kidding. Okay. So July 31st, the amount of this is going to be a deposit on July 31st that's still in transit because it's not on the bank statement. And it is in the amount of $994.07. I'm going to take my pen because I photocopied it for you. I'm going to cross it out. I took care of this one. So it's number C. Charlie. Okay, and I already have my formula working, so that's good. Let's go down here. Deductions for any outstanding checks. Do we have any outstanding checks? I think Elizabeth said we had 3, correct? In note A, alpha, it says 1, 2, 3. I'm going to show you a little Excel trick. You guys ready for your mind pop? Here we go. Because we only have 2 places here, I'm going to zoom up a little bit. Because we only have 2 places here, but we need it to do 3 and we want it to do automatically, we can keep our formula if we just right mouse click at the 10 and say insert. And now watch, if I put another number in here, it automatically calculates because it's in between that range. So we're going to go ahead and put our 3 checks in here. So the first check was check number 533. For how much? Bingo. Oh, and we should put the date for that one. Check 533. Does it say if the? Oh, we don't even have dates. Who cares? This is better. This is my way of doing a bank statement right here. Check number what? What's the next one?
535.
For how much?
122.50.
Bingo. And then the final one? 537. 425.40. Great. So we've got that. That's going to total up automatically. And I'm wondering, what would our adjusted bank balance equal? Markale, what would your adjusted bank balance equal on there? You're looking at mine. You got to look at yours. On your screen. What's your adjusted bank balance? Okay, put the numbers in.
All right, so my adjusted bank balance is $9,024.65.
Wow, you're off. You did something wrong.
Oh, okay.
8,191.
Nope. We've got one deposit of $994.07. We've got 3 checks that are outstanding for $148.95, $122.50, $425.40. Brings us to a grand whopping total of, what's yours, Kendra? 41?
Yeah.
Did you forget to put your pennies in up here? 148.95, 122.50, 424.40. You put all those numbers in. And you came off that close and that far away. Things that make me go. Can I see this really quick? Oh, this one's off right here. You started with the wrong number. Let me go back up. That number should be $8,442.03. Is it working, Markale? You look confused. I am just going to do this. You don't have to do this. I'm just going to do this to illustrate. I don't like that color. No, that's not enough. This is all one little section in here. So this is section 1. So we should have the beginning bank statement, or the balance at the end of the month, any things that weren't deposited on the bank statement, any checks that hadn't cleared to give us our adjusted bank balance. Does anybody not have this? Yes, you do, or yes, you don't? Yes, you do. Noel's like, no, I'm what are you missing? Are you trying to figure out how to total it? You're still filling out stuff? Okay, all right. Let's see if we got time. Tempo. You know what's going to end up happening is one of these days I'm going to be recording and I'm not going to have changed the battery out because I'm trying to see how long the battery will go. And I'll be teaching and you guys be needing to watch it. Be like, ah, and all of a sudden be like, and I'll be silent. You're like, what? No!
Do it right.
No. But I was just telling the director that we should mic everybody up and make them record their classes. I think it's a good idea.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and just have these, you know, so people can go through and review it. And... Oh yeah? You like that? That's how I give 5-star Yelp service. I'm a Yelp user. She was doing Yelp, so I like Yelp. I love Yelp. I check in every day. I'm the Duke in like 18 places. Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it? That's because I'm a little addictive once I find something I like. All right, let's go on. We got to move. Section number 2. Can you see that? No. I can't see why you're looking over my head. I put it all the way up.
That's how
I think maybe what you should do tomorrow is come in and sit there so you're not like this all the time. Okay. I can't shrink my head, okay? It's large. I'm sorry. I did the haircut. Okay. Except you didn't watch it last night, remember? You're just bringing up that wound again. There's a little salt right there for me. That one hurt. You might want, today it's a little raw, Domingo. I don't know. So. Okay.
I just didn't miss today, but I
Okay.
missed today class, but I still with a lot of headaches.
All right, good. All right. So we're going to start with our beginning book balance. What's our balance in the books?
7,318.
That's what I like about Elizabeth. She's paying attention. $7,318.59. Now there's a little something different here. In the last problem, we did not have any additions to go into here. But in this problem, we have that really weird, rare thing that we talked about yesterday in class, that sometimes people pay the bank for the notes that they owe you. I don't know if you remember, I mentioned that just really briefly, that there's a really rare case that someone could pay the bank instead of you directly, and then you won't find out that they paid off your account, the account to you until you get your bank statement. They're doing that in here. It's not very usual, but in this case, there might be an addition to the books that we don't know about. So I'm going to just grab from 16 down to about 21, right mouse click it and say insert. This gives me a little space in here. Now I'm going to put additions. Well, you have to, Elizabeth, you have to highlight where you want to put it. And then you right mouse click and just say insert and it'll drop everything down. Nope. Insert. Right mouse click on the number over here on the left. And then insert. You didn't highlight the whole row. You have to highlight the row, not just the area. Nope, that's the area. This, my friend, click over here. This is a row. See how it's got the whole thing? Click insert and the whole thing drops down. That's why we're learning Excel as well. The director was telling me he's popping in on the accounting videos just to learn more Excel. He likes to watch my YouTube videos. I don't know why. What? Are they clear? Oh, I'm just getting all sorts of back taps today. You know what? I was just telling him because he was like, how do you record such long ones?
Cut off, like last night when I was watching it, and you were in mid, and you just cut off.
Really? Didn't go for the hour and 20? I think you just had to reload it. Yeah. I was going to say, because YouTube's letting me upload like 2-hour videos, which is really weird because you normally have a 15-minute limit. And I think I applied to be a teacher, and they give me like this unlimited amount of time to upload. So I'm like, this is great.
And the only thing in the first couple of videos, no voice.
It's there. You just have to turn it way up. But I fixed it. Now it's really loud, isn't it, Domingo?
No.
Yeah, well, I didn't mic the room, sorry. Sucks to be you.
Yeah.
Laura, if I mic'd you, we'd hear all your embarrassing conversations, and we wouldn't want that. Okay, let's keep going.
That's supposed to be 59 cents, or 53, is that?
That should be 59. You want my piece 50 cent? 59, there we go. Additions. Well, we had one thing that came in. We had a note receivable that was collected, didn't we? A credit memorandum shows that the bank has collected a $1,550 note receivable. So we're going to say note receivable collected by bank. And I think we got some interest with that, didn't we? Yeah. And interest on note receivable. Receivable. I'm going to be indented one here. I'm going to do a 1550 and a 30. And that's going to tally up here. Just like I did below, I'm going to do it just to the right of it. This is the sum of these two things. And what am I going to do with that $1,580, Lisa? I'm going to subtract it from the 7.3 even though it says addition. We're going to add it. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to 7,318. We're going to add this one to here. And now our bottom formula is going to be a little messed up because this one is actually, I'm going to just put me a little line here. I'm going to get a little creative just so I can tell that I did some kind of subtotal. So I just put a little line there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. Good. Because this is my additions, and then I'm going to come back up to here. And just like we inserted Elizabeth, if you right mouse click, well, if you click on these two, and then you right mouse click it, you can say delete, and it gets rid of them. So now I have another form that's back up there. It looks all pretty. I can delete the rows just like I inserted the rows. So do we have any deductions according to this thing? And I'm crossing out as we go here. I hope you guys are doing the same. So I've crossed out 3 of my pieces on my problem here. That keeps me in line. We had a service charge of $14.34. And look, I already have a place that says bank service charge. That's pretty awesome. $14.34. Covering a debit memorandum for the Nsf check of $145. So I can just go up here and change that Nsf check. The only issue I'm having from the last one that I created is this does not take into account the addition that I had here. So I'm actually just going to grab, I hope you guys know how to do this. So here comes an Excel trick. If you want to learn it, you want to pay attention right now. I'm going to double click on here. This brings up all the colors in my formula. Now, before what I had was my beginning balance and I subtracted my deductions. Now though I have additions in the middle. So what I really want to do is take this number, my $8,898, and subtract my deductions. I can rewrite the formula, or I just double clicked on it and I can come up here as long as I'm not grabbing the corner, but if I grab like anywhere else on the outside edge, if I click and drag it down here, that changes the first cell. When I hit enter, look at that, I got my 0, it popped up, I have a balanced account. Was that easy enough to follow? No. I thought I was being very clear. No. What's the question?
No, it was so easy that
Here, watch. Control Z. You can see, because I have my little check figure off over here, that I'm off by 1,580. I could tell that, oh look, here's 1,580. Maybe there's a problem with the formula. If I just double click on it, I can see I didn't take into account that. So instead of deleting the formula and rewriting it, I can actually, you can just drag these boxes around if you want. And I just drug this one down to where it belongs. Oh, that's not even where it belongs. It belongs down here. Hit enter, and now the formula's right. I'm going to hit Control S to save it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm thinking that We're supposed to be doing some journal entries for this one, but I'm thinking I'm more worried about your guys' ability to do bank reconciliation. So what if we wipe off the journal entries from the test too? Are you guys okay with skipping that part? I only will do that with a unanimous decision that that's okay though. Kendra, you want to do the journals? Okay, we'll do the, I'm just kidding. All right. Laura. How do I unfreeze my computer? You go to the Apple store and you buy a Mac. Oh, Laura, what did you do? I'm serious. Hold on. Did you save it at all?
No.
Oh, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, you created this thing.
Oh my God.
It's trying to resolve the problem. Oh.
Did it delete everything?
It might have. Here, hold on. Assignment 3.
Oh my God.
No, you got most of it there.
Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah, you just got to change, just got to put the additions in. You're good. All right, we got to get through 9.7 because I want you to have time tomorrow to take your test. Or maybe you should just do 9.7 on your own tonight. Yeah. Or Kale's like, yeah. Lisa just about shot you with her eyeballs. Oh, I'm going to undo my blue. Only blue can make all this world seem bright. Come on, Excel. You guys are having some problems with Excel today. I just love Microsoft Excel. All right, 9.7. Let's do it. We're just going to right mouse click this sucker. This one should go fast. In fact, I don't think they want us to do the whole thing. What does it say we're supposed to do? Correct errors were revealed by a bank reconciliation. During the bank reconciliation process at Big Guy Movers Corporation on March 3rd, 2013, the following errors were discovered by the firm's records. The checkbook and cash payments journal indicated that check number 1301 dated February 18th was issued for $361 to pay for hauling expenses. However, the examination of the canceled check and listing on the bank statement showed that the actual amount of the check was $316. Okay. What else is on there? The checkbook and the cash payments journal indicated that check 1322 on February 24th was issued for $404 to pay a telephone bill. However, after close examination of the canceled check, the listing on the bank statement showed that the actual amount of the check was $440. So we have a couple transposed figures. So we need to do a correction for those. You go down to the bottom of Excel, you hit right mouse click on Excel, and then you say close all the windows. When it says do you want to restart the program, you say yes. Prepare the adjusted book balance section. So we're only doing what? The adjusted book balance section. We're going to adjust it. It's not the whole book balance. We're just going to do a little piece of it. The adjusted book balance section of the firm's bank reconciliation statement, the book balance as of February 28th was $19,951. The errors listed on are the only two items that affect the book balance, and prepare journal entries to correct the errors. We could do the journal entries, but we're just going to do the adjusted bank reconciliation balance. We're going to right mouse click this thing on 9.6 Bravo. We're going to duplicate it. So we're going to move or copy. We're going to create a copy before sheet 2. And then I'm going to rename it 9.7 Bravo. I'm actually going to get rid of sheet 2 and sheet 3 just to make it look pretty. Oh, it looks so efficient. I like it. $9.7. This sucker is for, what's the name of the company that we're dealing with? Big Guy Movers. It's for February 28th, 2013. We are doing the section that is the adjusted book balance section. So I'm going to get rid of this entire area up here by highlighting my row 4 down to my row 14. Right mouse click and say delete. My balance in the books was $19,951. What were the additions we had? Did we have any additions? How about that? Markale, what additions we got? I gave you a photocopy of it if you wanted. Or it's the same. Yeah, it's on page 318 and 317. It was issued for $361 to pay hauling expenses. However, after examination of the canceled check and the listing on the bank statement showed the actual amount of the check was only $316. So even though our books had it down as a $361 check, what was it actually written for? $316. So do we have more money or less money than we thought? More, because we had written it down as this amount, but it was only this amount. So how much more money do we now have than we had before? Subtract them. What do I get? I think it's going to be $45. So $45. So I need to do an addition, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to sit here and say that we are going to have a check 1301 dated February 18th was recorded for or as 361. I'm going to delete this one. And I'm just writing this out here. Was actually written for 316. And how much was that? $45. I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger so it doesn't come into my numbers area. So I have $45 going in, so now I have a new balance right here. And then what were the deductions I had? Kendra, am I picking on you if I ask you what the deductions were? Or would you help me out here? It's going to be on Bravo. What did we do with B? Okay, so we issued a check for $404, but the actual amount the check was paid for was $440. So our books have this, and our statement has this. So what do we do? Well, we paid it. Our statement says we paid it, but our books show that we didn't pay that. So, but what was the number? $36. So we owe $36 essentially to our books to say that we need to get rid of it. We have to take off $36 from the books. So we'll do the same type of thing we just did. Check number, what was it here? 1322, dated February 24th, was recorded as $404, was actually written for $440. Sorry, it was it was recorded as $440. 404 was actually written for 440. That's right. We're going to get rid of this one right here. And so that gives us a difference of $36. So what is our adjusted book balance? Starts with a 19, ends at 960. 19,960. Now, if I was Laura or James and I had just finished this, I would hit Control S and it would be saved.
I'm not even there yet.
Well, that's why I said if you were here.
So you just did the balance in books on this one. You erased everything else.
Well, we didn't need, we were just doing, let me change this. This is an adjusted, well, yeah, this is just like a microcosm of what we're doing. We're going back and adjusting for some mistakes we found after we reconciled. Okay? Any questions? Tomorrow, this is how it's going to work. Let me hit pause on YouTube.